Welcome back everyone to another video. Today we are going to be discussing Shogun Episode 4, The Eightfold Fence. Now this is just the quick review section. There will not be any spoilers discussed here, and if this is what you're here for, then I'm going to tell you right out of the gate what my ranking for this is. It is a 10 out of 10. We pick up where the other episode left off, and it just blows up from there. So many more political games being played, a lot of weaknesses being exploited. We get to see some more of the interpersonal relationships between the main characters and other characters that are starting to get more screen time. It's a very well done episode. That being said, how do I feel about the way the show looks still? I am still in love with everything as far as visual goes in this show. I think the production value is crazy good. We have not just great actors that pull out the show, but the settings, the sets themselves, the outfits that everybody's wearing, everything looks authentic, everything looks high production, high quality, and very, very good. I mean, everything from the ships to the kimonos to the walls of the places that they're at, it's so good, and I really appreciate the time and detail and dedication that was put into the sets and the outfits, the wardrobes, and everything else. I think it's top-notch quality, some of the best I've seen in shows, let alone in movies. This is movie quality production, and it couldn't get any better than it really is. I don't think I have one critique for the actual aesthetic. Now, is it time period appropriate? I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure. I know that certain eras, like in the Meiji, they wore a little more drab clothing, and there's a lot of colors here, but this is not the Meiji, so I'm not sure exactly what they would be wearing, but I would be inclined to believe that this is relatively accurate, if not completely accurate, so I'm not going to press any charges against them for that. No, it's a very good show, very well done all around. This is a very good episode, 100% worth watching. If you haven't watched it yet, go and watch episode 4. And if you haven't watched the show yet, I don't know why you're watching episode 4 review, but go and watch episode 1, binge all 4 episodes, because man, I wish I could just binge the rest of the show. It's that good. I want to sit down, watch the whole thing, and then just be mind blown. So I wish the other episodes were all out. Every time it's the end of the episode for that week, I'm like, oh no, man, I want another episode. I don't want to wait a week. And I love it when shows leave you feeling that way, because it means it's a good showing and you want to see more. And so again, I can't wait until next week's episode. All right, going over that quick review, 10 out of 10. We are going to be moving into the spoiler section, so if you don't want any spoilers, make sure you go ahead and bow out now. However, I will say that if you have any questions or just general comments about the show, put them down below. I will respond to it, but try to keep any spoilers out, guys. We don't want to be ruining it for anybody at this point in time. You know, if this video's up in years, feel free to post whatever you want, but for right now, let's keep it relatively spoiler-free. All right, moving into the spoiler section here, where we can talk a little bit more freely. First, I just want to go over kind of a quick recap of reviews for each episode. Episode 1 was a 10 out of 10. I really liked it right out of the gate. There was nothing that I didn't like. I liked a ton of the characters. And you know, the only characters I don't like are the ones you're not supposed to like the bad guys, right? And so those are the only ones I don't like, but it's not because they're not good characters. They're great characters. I just don't like them. So overall, it's a 10 out of 10 by far. Episode 2, a little bit slower because we kind of had to build a little bit of story, but not by much. I think I gave it a 9 at the time, and then going back and watching it again, really it's like a 9.5, almost a 10. But I'll keep it at the 9.5 rating. Episode 3, Bye. Also very good, 10 out of 10. We got a lot of things going on there. We had some of the action sequences starting, more of the political games being played, and so I really liked where that led off. And man, I do love that other ship guy. I can never remember his name. The other, I think he's Portuguese, or maybe he's Italian. I don't remember, or Spaniard. Maybe he's a Spaniard. I don't remember, but I like that guy a lot. The one that kind of at the end of episode 3 got the, kind of gave a little bit of space for the boat to get by. And that's how the main character is able to get through and escape, right? So I really like him. I like the banter he has with the main character, and I hope we get more of that guy. So much more that I will actually remember his name. That's what I would like to see. But I really like that character. Now, this episode picks off where the other one left off, obviously. We're kind of going back to the exact location we were at the very beginning in episode 1, and we get to see some of those characters from then back in this episode, and we're going to build on some of those characters, and I really appreciated watching some more of that. I like to see the political games where Toranaga is coming onto the shore and addressing the troops and kind of starting to steal them away a little bit from the other guy, his underling, who's conniving and backstabbing, and he knows that. And if anybody doesn't think he doesn't know that guy's untrustworthy, you're crazy, because he obviously knows. That's why he kind of is leaving him out of the loop, and he's untrustworthy completely, and he knows that. Unfortunately, though, that guy's nephew is able to trick Toranaga's son into doing what he did in the show and attacking Ishido's guys and just kind of demolishing them with cannons in a very un-samurai-like way. It wasn't even like a war. They weren't even ready to fight. So it was really unceremonious, very, very dishonorable, and then goes and bloodies his sword on these guys that are already dying. It's just a very dishonorable thing, and he was really stupid to do that, and we know there's going to be comeuppance for it. And obviously this was set up by the nephew of the guy that runs that area, that fief. And then we got even more. We got some steamy action at the hot springs, right? With Anjin and Mariko. And that was cool. It was like they were on a date where they were sitting there talking and in their minds. And it feels like a very Japanese thing where they're in their minds and they're on this date and they're talking themselves through this date. And it was really cool and kind of a romantic scene that I really liked. And obviously he left a little hot and bothered, and I think she did too. And then we had the scene that followed, that rated R scene, right? And it was a very well done scene, I thought, pretty tasteful. And I like how the woman was in the dark and it was hard to see her face. And man, I was trying to see who it was because I wanted to know if that was actually her or not. And I just wasn't convinced it was her. And then later in the next scene, she goes and she talks about how they, her and the other lady, what is she called? The consort. They got him a courtesan, right? They got him a high-class courtesan. And I'm still not convinced that it wasn't her either, because she had this kind of weird smile afterwards, like smirking smile. So was it not? I don't know. I don't know what to believe. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I think it could go either way. I want to believe the script that it was just a courtesan, but I want them to get together, you know? So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I loved this episode. I thought it was just such a cool episode. So well done in every respect. And as far as Mariko goes, I love her outfits, her kimonos, even the simple white one with that kind of wave pattern. I just really like it. And then the jackets, the kind of battle jackets that Toranaga is wearing, I love his outfits so far. Every outfit and every scene that he's been in, whether it's a basic kimono or it's battle attire or his armor, I've loved every single one of them. I am absolutely in love with the wardrobing in this show. I think it's fantastic and awesome. Now, one thing I do want to bring up is the gun that he gave to his consort. While she didn't seem exactly thrilled about the gun itself, I think that she was moved a little bit by the gift itself, and that's why she gave him the swords. And it is a very Japanese thing to kind of turn around and reciprocate, but she gave him something that was, I think, important to her, and I think it's going to show that she's going to eventually really respect him. And I think at some point in time there's going to be some kind of conflict, and she's going to end up using that gun that he gave her, that she was like, I don't know how to use this. When am I ever going to do this? Right? And I think she's going to use it to save herself. And I think that's when she's going to really respect him, and she's going to be like all in for him. I don't know if it's going to be a love thing or a love triangle, but I can definitely see her being completely loyal to him and going to the ends of the world for whatever he needs. We'll see if there's a romance that happens there, but my inclination is that it's going to be more of a very loyal retainer kind of thing than it is what I'm hoping for with him and Mariko. Oh, okay, so there's so much good to talk about in this episode. I'm not going to sit here and drone on for an hour, but it was just so good. I can't wait to see what happens next. I can't wait to see what's going to happen because of Toranaga's son. I mean, what's going to happen now? The dude blew up all those guys, started a war. Is there going to be recompense where he has to kill himself? He has to commit seppuku, or Is it just going to be straight war now? Like, what's going on? I want to know. I want to see, and I'm excited to see some battles, some good fight scenes, you know. And I'm really looking forward to, if it's in this season, the siege on Osaka with the ships and the cannons and everything. So I think there's lots of cool things we have to look forward to in this show, and I cannot wait. All right, guys, so far this season, 10 out of 10 across the board. I mean, episode 2 is the only one that's kind of not a 10, but really is. Other than that, I mean, it is a 10. This show is amazing, and I think this is going to be, at least for me, I think this is going to be the show of the year. I really do. I think this is the #1 show of the year for me. I just don't see anything being able to outdo this, but I could be wrong. We'll see what happens. There are some good things coming out this year, and but I mean, writing top-notch, acting top-notch, aesthetics top-notch, wardrobes top, everything all across the board. I love this show, so definitely give it a watch. If you haven't watched it, shouldn't be in the spoiler section, but if you haven't, go and watch it. Otherwise, put some stuff down in the comments, guys. Let me know if you're loving the show, or if you have something you wish was better. Let me know if there's a criticism you have. I'm very curious. I'd love to see it, and maybe you'll shine some light on something that blew past me in my my nerddom here. So put it down below. Let me know, but try to stay away from those spoilers, guys. Otherwise, thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate all of you. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe. Helps the channel, helps me out. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing everybody in the next video. But until then, take care.